Vaping and e-cigarettes. Vaping is a term that's used when a person inhales aerosol mist that is created from a battery-charged device. Aerosol is heated up by the electric coils and inhaled by the person. The e-liquid being used in this device could consist of different chemicals that make up aerosol, flavors, and nicotine. Cannabis, CBD, or THC could also be put into these devices. Vaping started to become popular starting from 2003 after a Chinese pharmacist named Han Lik created the first e-cig that was commercially successful. There are over 460 e-cig brands on the market, Juul being one of the most popular. There are many side effects that are being discovered as time goes by. Not all side effects are known, especially long-term side effects. There are different devices that people may use to vape. This includes e-cigarettes, pens, rechargeable devices, and items that may resemble everyday items such as a normal writing pen, a USB charger, etc. E-cigarette brands try to target younger vapers in their advertisements. Teens may vape to try different flavors, to quit another addiction, peer pressure, or because they are not informed of all the information on how this could affect them. How we can help. Be a good example. Get educated and share this knowledge with our youth. More and more information on short and long-term side effects are being discovered. Have the talk on how to be safe and healthy conscious. Here's a Kahoot game you could play when presenting this to a group of people to introduce them to myths and facts about vaping. Statistics: 3.6 million youth still use e-cigs. Youth e-cigarette use rose 1,800% from 2011 to 2019. 730,000 high school and middle school students use e-cigarettes every single day. 1 in 5 high school students use e-cigs. Around 61% of teens who vape do it to experiment, 62% because they like the taste, 38% to have a good time, 37% to relieve tension, and 29% to feel good or get a good high. That's from Monitoring the Future. The most recent National Youth Tobacco Survey data shows that 34.2% of current high school e-cigarette users use them on 20 days or more per month. Teens and vaping. Why are teens drawn to vaping? Peer pressure, curiosity. There's no smoke emitted like cigarettes. This makes it harder to detect when people use these devices, which allows students to feel less pressure of not smelling like smoke or getting caught as easily. Ads target the youth Ads target the youth by making flavors that are sweet and tasty. Companies make devices that look like ordinary objects that are also allow people to vape and be undetected. There are TikTok and other social media platforms that have teens that share videos of them doing vape tricks, which could lead to teens finding this attractive and a desirable action. Some people start vaping to assist in stopping a different addiction, cigarettes mostly. Brain development. Nicotine addiction can harm the teenage brain due to the fact that it's still developing. Nicotine can also affect the development of the reward system in the brain, which can lead to addiction. How does this impact teens? Social lives. Reports show that behavior problems arise. Also, students who vape are reported to be more likely to try cigarettes and become cigarette smokers. Academic performance could drop due to change in attention, memory, focus, and attention span. Mental health. Research has found that vaping can affect mood. It has also been discovered that it can lead to feelings of depression, anxiety, and feeling stressed. There are 3 types of popular e-cigarettes: cigalikes, vape pens, mods. Cigalike looks like a traditional cigarette, and they are the smallest and lightest type. Vape pens are larger than cigalikes and are shaped like pens or tubes. Mods are the largest and most powerful e-cigarette, and they have a box-shaped design and are customizable. There are 2 main vaping style methods. One is mouth to lung, and the other is direct to lung. Mouth to lung vaping involves inhaling vapor into your mouth, then inhaling it into your lungs. This style is similar to smoking a traditional cigarette. Direct-to-lung vaping involves inhaling vapor directly into your lungs without holding it in your mouth first. This style produces larger clouds of vapor and requires more airflow. Side effects. Since vaping has become popular in recent years, the health risks associated with the use of e-cigs and devices and like devices are still being discovered. Lung damage, inflammation and scarring of the lung tissue, fluid buildup in the lungs, and damage to the airways. Addiction. The more your body uses nicotine, the more your body wants it. This can lead to dependence, which can be difficult to overcome. Long-term use of nicotine can also lead to a number of health problems, including lung and heart disease and high blood pressure. Speaking of heart disease, vaping can increase a risk of developing heart disease, including heart attack and stroke. The nicotine in e-cigs can cause your blood vessels to narrow, which can lead to high blood pressure and an increased risk of heart disease. EVALI, e-cigarette or vaping products use associated lung injury. Patients report using THC-containing products, and most said they got their products only from informal sources. THC is a chemical found in cannabis, marijuana, that gives users the buzz high. EVALI symptoms include inflammation of the airway and interfere with normal lung functioning. Each time a new memory is created or a new skill is learned, stronger connections or synapses are built between brain cells. Young people's brains build synapses faster than adult brains. Nicotine changes the way these synapses are formed. The brain is still developing until we turn 25, and the influence of nicotine on the brain could have long-term side effects. What are the experts saying? The CDC. Most cigarettes, vapes contain nicotine, the addictive drug in regular cigarettes, cigars, and other tobacco products. The CDC found that 99% of e-cigarettes sold in assessed venues in the United States contain nicotine. Some vape products label do not disclose that they contain nicotine, and some vape liquids marketed as containing 0% nicotine have been found to actually contain nicotine. Using nicotine in adolescents may also increase a risk for future addiction to other drugs. From the National Institute of Drug Abuse, a study showed that students who had used e-cigarettes by the time they started ninth grade were more likely than others to start smoking cigarettes and other smokable tobacco products within the next year. Because nicotine affects the development of the brain's reward system, continued nicotine vaping can not only lead to nicotine addiction, but it can also make other drugs such as cocaine and methamphetamine more pleasurable to a teen's developing brain. Other risks include mood disorders and permanent problems with impulse control, failure to fight an urge or impulse that might harm oneself or others. Johns Hopkins medical researchers. They found evidence that inhaling heated tobacco vapor through an e-cig device could lead to increased odds of asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease (COPD), which was originally a side effect from smoking cigarettes. The data, the researchers say, also suggests that odds of developing COPD may be as much as 6 times greater when people report they both vape and smoke tobacco regularly, compared with those who don't use any tobacco products at all. The cycle of vaping. Hits vape. Hitting the vape is when e-liquid, also known as vape juice, which could contain heavy metals, flavoring, propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, and other unknown properties, or nicotine salts, allowing for a higher and more addictive concentration of nicotine, is electrically heated and aerosolized into vapor to be inhaled by the user. Nicotine travels. When inhaling, the nicotine is carried into the lungs by attaching onto vapor droplets, then travels and communicates with the brain within 7 to 10 seconds. This is why your vape may give you a more immediate reaction. Alters frontal lobe. Reaching the reward center of the brain, nicotine affects the release of a rush of dopamine, allowing one to feel a resemblance of relief and pleasure. Addiction is a form of learning, making it easier for youth to form addictions. When the brain being in development until around age 25, frequent vaping in youth can lead to long-term cognitive challenges, in addition to being at risk for other health complications. Half-life. The nicotine effects peak after around 2 hours, inviting the onset of withdrawal symptoms. So feeling stressed or anxious, irritability, increased depression, etc., as nicotine slowly leaves the blood. This is referred to as nicotine half-life and can arrive sooner than 2 hours with frequent use. The voice of addiction. Withdrawal symptoms can cause discomfort and may even be painful. With the body wanting to return to a feeling of relief and pleasure, addiction will influence one to return to their source of instant relief, even if it's not good for them. This is referred to as a voice of addiction. Nicotine addiction. Research shows that nicotine can harm the parts of the brain that control attention, learning, decision making, mood, and impulse control. Youth may turn to vaping to try to deal with stress or anxiety, creating a cycle of nicotine dependence. But nicotine addiction can be a source of stress. Nicotine can have a number of harmful effects on the body, including increasing your heart rate and blood pressure, narrowing your blood vessels, and increasing your risk of heart disease and stroke. Nicotine can also cause inflammation and scarring of the lung tissue, fluid buildup in the lungs, and damage to the airways. Long-term use of nicotine can lead to addiction and dependence and can be difficult to overcome. It's best to avoid vaping if possible. Nicotine withdrawal symptoms include irritability, restlessness, feeling anxious or depressed, trouble sleeping, problems concentrating, and craving nicotine. People may keep using tobacco products to help relieve these symptoms. Nicotine can target your whole body, rewire and changes the brain, trouble breathing and damage to the lungs, heart beats faster due to fight or flight response, and increased acid reflux. From watching What You Should Know About Vaping and E-Cigarettes TED Talk, we saw that there's other effects on the body from nicotine in the blood, lungs, muscular, gastrointestinal, joints, central, heart, and endocrine. There's ways we can help. Spread the word. Data is accumulating and the side effects are becoming more known day by day. The use of e-cigarettes has harmful side effects, especially harmful to people under the age of 25. Be a good example. Don't give into peer pressure or the ad companies trying to win you over with their tasty sounding flavors. Be strong and know how to create healthy habits and avoid unhealthy ones. Keep up to date on information. Become more educated and keep up to date on the information being discovered around vaping each day. Talk openly. Talking about the risk involved with vaping would help others avoid it. Put in place healthy alternatives like joining a club, exercising, or starting a new healthy habit, or picking up an old healthy habit that you used to enjoy. Encourage each other. Encourage each other to make good decisions. Vaping resources for teens and families. If you or someone you know is having a problem and struggling to quit, talk to your family doctor about treatment options. You can visit these websites or call or text quit lines for help. Conclusion. E-cigarettes and vaping can be harmful to your health. Long-term side effects are still not known, and side effects of inhaling the vapor from these devices is still being discovered. The use of e-cigarettes and nicotine are particularly harmful to the teenage brain, which is still developing until the age of 25. Although the side effects may seem less than smoking, the side effects of vaping are still not good for your health. Check in on yourself and your friends. There are resources to quit vaping if you feel you or someone you care about may have a problem. Staying knowledgeable about the developing information around vaping and how it could affect your health could benefit you and those you share this information with. Instead of picking up this habit, try making a new, healthy habit in its place.